The most explosive bombshell in modern history has just rocked the financial world. A leaked internal report from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund claims that XRP, a digital asset that was previously written off as just another cryptocurrency, has been formally named the next global reserve asset. Neither traders nor cryptocurrency enthusiasts are spreading this rumor. The end of US dollar dominance and the start of a new monetary era are marked by this significant change in global banking. According to the research, XRP will be the foundation of a new financial system intended to stabilize global trade, give underdeveloped countries access to liquidity, and support urgent attempts at economic recovery. You're not prepared if you believe this to be too large to be true. For the future, as the system's minimum objective value for XRP is $100,000 per coin. The document, which was purportedly shared among senior IMF and World Bank officials, describes a strategy for incorporating digital bridge assets into their worldwide bailout framework. The logic is straightforward but groundbreaking. The cross-border procedures in place now are too costly, too slow, and too reliant on the US currency. In contrast, XRP can quickly settle any transaction, whether it involves banks, governments, or businesses, at a low cost and without the need for centralized middlemen. According to the research, XRP will replace the antiquated SWIFT system as the universal liquidity source for international settlements, allowing for immediate cross-border capital reallocation. It is referred to as the biggest financial improvement in history. IMF economists are purportedly shown in leaked communications talking about how the global economy's dependence on the US dollar has turned into a systemic problem. The world economy is now weak due to debt, sanctions, and inflation. The suggested remedy? A decentralized, neutral digital asset that can bridge all currencies should take the place of the dollar as the world's reserve. XRP is a wonderful fit for that description. Although there have been public IMF documents regarding the integration of digital assets for months, this recent leak links those discussions to XRP by identifying it as the liquidity standard for the future global financial system. Social networking is booming. Prominent analysts and financial insiders have come forth with tweets asserting that they foresaw this action years ago. Some of them are citing Ripple's engagement in the IMF's working group on digital currencies, its cooperation with the Bank for International Settlements, and its continuous ties with central banks. When seen as a whole, it is evident that Ripple's entire approach was preparing for this precise moment. Behind the scenes, Ripple was subtly constructing the framework for the next financial system while the public was preoccupied with lawsuits and price declines. Therefore, the $100,000 target is a determined amount based on liquidity requirements and is not just hype. XRP would have to manage trillions in daily settlements if it were to take over as the main bridge asset globally. Analysts contend that the token's value would need to increase exponentially from its current level in order to supply sufficient liquidity for the banks throughout the world. XRP would be the ultimate reserve instrument at a valuation of $100,000 since its total market capitalization would exceed that of all other assets put together. Borderless, liquid, and supported by usage worldwide as opposed to merely the economy of one country. According to some accounts, several central banks have already begun covertly amassing XRP through custodial intermediaries. Large coordinated transfers of XRP between anonymous institutional wallets are allegedly visible in blockchain data, which strongly suggests some early-stage positioning. If that's the case, states are essentially ahead of the rest of the globe in obtaining liquidity before the Globe Bank and IMF even jointly declare it. And as soon as that information is confirmed, demand may soar to levels never before seen in the cryptocurrency industry. To be honest, it's startling how much the IMF has been discussing the necessity of a neutral settlement layer. Christine Lagarde, Kristalina Georgieva, and other influential people have all spoken in public to the need for a global financial reset that truly levels the playing field across countries. XRP, a decentralized bridge asset, is a wonderful fit for that goal. The IMF is opposed to another country controlling the global reserve currency. They are looking for an impartial, trustless system, and XRP offers just that. The IMF allegedly outlines a gradual rollout plan in the leaked study. Testing XRP as a settlement mechanism for special drawing rights, the IMF's synthetic reserve currency used for international lending, is the first phase. Phase 2 then sees the integration of XRP into the World Bank's emergency liquidity programs, which enables aid to be sent to developing nations in a stable digital format. The third phase is where things truly start to alter. The complete switch from currency cross-border systems to XRP's distributed ledger for intergovernmental settlements. With XRP acting as the link between all national currencies, this shift would signal the full digitization of international banking. Consider the implications of this. XRP would serve as the global settlement medium for all international debt payments, IMF loans, and trade transactions. It would be equivalent to installing a quicker, less expensive, and infinitely more effective network in place of the whole financial industry's plumbing. Waiting 3 business days for a cross-border transaction is no longer an option. Liquidity shortages, currency conversion delays, and endless fees are all gone. The world moves in real time with XRP. Skeptics continue to claim that the news is fraudulent or misunderstood as the excitement grows. However, those same skeptics are unable to explain why international organizations like the World Economic Forum consistently mention interoperable digital liquidity solutions in their white papers, or why Ripple is forming more and more collaborations with central banks around the world. The fact that Ripple has long been seated at the same tables as these organizations is no accident. It was never the intention of Ripple's technology to be a specialized cryptocurrency experiment. It was always intended to serve as the cornerstone of international finance. Although the change won't occur right now, the wheels are already spinning. Rumor has it that a number of financial institutions are secretly testing XRP-based IMF-linked settlement solutions. According to insiders, the shift might be finished by 2030, which actually fits in well with the UN's objectives for digital transformation. The story of XRP taking the place of the dollar is no longer merely conjecture. It is currently a component of a concerted effort to globalize digitally. To be honest, this information is a wake-up call for the typical investor. You know, the biggest financial powers in the world are getting ready for a time when XRP will be essential. Retail holders, meanwhile, are still mostly in the dark. You're wrong if you believe you have time to wait. When XRP's position is publicly confirmed by the World Bank and IMF, it will be too late to invest at affordable prices. The leak is significant because of this, because it provides the general public with a short window of opportunity to prepare before the largest financial reset in history takes place. The ramifications are pretty astounding. At $100,000, XRP represents more than just transformative riches. It entails a thorough reworking of the world's power systems. The money flow will not be dominated by a single nation for the first time. Rather, the core of the global economy will be a decentralized